Welcome to the Dirty Casual Corner, episode 21. The date is September 15th, 2018.
Yeah, we're back again.
Yeah, and
You can't stop us.
not even the fire, which on that note, it's contained or something like that.
Oh, yeah, so, we mentioned the fire last time. That didn't really... Luckily, it wasn't a big one like last time.
Yeah.
Thomas fire or anything, so
Yeah.
we're good. Don't worry. We didn't burn down. Not that you gave a shit, but we're here. And
We're alive.
We're casting.
And, well, I guess, Sean, would you like to start off the first topic?
Alright, so the topic, as always, first is watching. So, let's see. Let me go down what I've been watching here. So, some more Chio-chan.
Fucking fantastic.
So, are you caught up on that one? Up to episode 11?
I believe so.
So, what happened in the last one was you had the thing where she was fucking playing like goddamn Payday 2
Yeah.
clone or whatever. And then she has the fucking setup, where she hears her mom walking towards her room, minimizes everything, jumps into her fucking bed, acts like she's asleep.
Ends up sleeping outside of her house.
Yeah,
So,
ends up sleeping outside her house.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know about you growing up, but I had those moments where you'd be playing games in the middle of the night when you weren't supposed to, and you knew the sounds, you knew the cues to fucking just shut it down and be like in your bed before your parents open the door or anything like that.
Yeah.
I definitely felt that one.
I do too. Back in RuneScape, though. Yeah, back in those middle school days when I played RuneScape for at least 17 hours straight.
Yeah. That was a good episode. So I think there's one more episode of Chio-chan left.
Before the season's over?
Yeah, so we've got one more of that, so by next cast we'll be done with it.
I do have a comment on that.
Yeah.
That fucking ass tag battle needs to happen. Battle of the God style.
Damn.
Like, it just has to happen between Manana and Ando's little sister. It just has to happen. Like,
I can see that.
And I want them to go all out if it's the last episode.
Alright, and since they just went full blown, what did you think about Chio's ass? That they showed for a full minute.
Nice.
Not bad.
You could tell this guy is experienced in giving us high quality content, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So definitely enjoyed episode 11 of it.
Yeah, so that's been good. I've also been watching still Cells at Work.
I kind of dropped that.
Yeah, I mean, I was kind of thinking about that, but I'm so far in, I'm just gonna finish it. So the last episode was a heat stroke. The whole, talking about the body overheating.
Mm-hmm.
Things like what's it called? Food poisoning going through your body or stuff like that. Fever kind of cells that just thrive in those situations with your blood flow higher and all this stuff. It was an alright episode, but yeah, the formula's been more or less the same in the past 10 episodes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing insane that's going on with the story. So that's got 2 more episodes. So again, come this time in 2 weeks, it'll be over, and I'll give it full thoughts on that.
I mean, I can continue it. It's just I could probably easily binge it when it nearly ends.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a hard one, I think, to binge, just because every episode is so similar. I feel like you get bored of it fast.
Yeah, I'm already.
That's how I feel.
Yeah,
even watching it weekly, it's kind of like, I already kind of know what's gonna happen. Yeah, there's small differences, but it's overall the formula's not changing. So, also watched Persona 5. So there's watched today's episode and last week's. So we had Haru's story, and then we had Sojiro's story and Futaba's whole story go along, and then we're kind of coming up on the one of the biggest climaxes in the game. Probably in the next 2 episodes, I'm guessing, is when they'll hit that point where the biggest plot twist in the maybe it's biggest, maybe second biggest in the whole game happened. And either then they're going to stop the anime, or they're going to announce that they're doing another season or something. I'm not entirely sure. because there's still nowhere that is announced how many episodes the show is, and if they're doing another season or not. Because obviously they're not going to finish the whole story in 2 episodes, but they're going to get to the climax in 2 episodes, most certainly. So I don't know what they're going to do with that. If they're going to do OVAs, another season, whatever. But yeah, we'll see. I guess in 2 weeks, and maybe there'll be a better idea. Attack on Titan. So still going through that. Finally, after 8 episodes, we saw our first Titan. How, as weird as that sounds, you're watching
Did it look good at least?
It's kind of cool. It's a bit different, the whole situation now, because all the truths are getting out about, you know, the king who was ruling over the city, and the powers of the Titans and everything, and who Historia is and her bloodline, all this stuff. So it's basically just it's like a lot of story development and less action and fighting. There is still action and fighting, but it's less between Titans and more between humans and other factions and all this stuff. And finally, a Titan event is happening, and it's pretty cool. I honestly think it's better than just the kind of mindless action stuff that they have had in the past. Like, there's actually some real, plot developments happening, which I think is pretty interesting. And I don't know where they're going to go from here, but I'm sure if you've read the manga, there's more than what we currently have in the anime. So I don't know what the general consensus is on what people think of the manga at this point. If they like the beginning better, or they like this part better. But yeah, I'm enjoying it still. So. Let's see, we got Steins Gate Zero, which I think has 2 more episodes left after this, so there was actually only 1 episode since last podcast, since they took a week off, had a break, whatever. This definitely felt very Steins Gate-y, so there was time travel, there was a lot of craziness happening. We had the fucking return of Ho In Kyoma, the original, so
the fucking weeb?
The weeb. The weeb came out, and it's just basically because he actually went clinically fucking insane, and it broke his head, and then that's what turned him back from normie status to mad scientist, was actually going insane because of what happened.
Oh, you got it, man. You gotta be creative to do these things, dude.
Yeah.
You do.
But it was really cool, actually. It was kind of cool to see it, like, kind of goes back to Steins Gate kind of roots, and everything like felt like it was from the original Steins Gate that was happening. So it ended on a pretty big cliffhanger. I'm interested to see what happens from here, because like I said, I think there's only 2 episodes left of it, maybe 3, but I think there's only 2, so it's gonna conclude pretty soon with whatever they do. But that's still been really good. Even the parts before this part have been enjoyable, but this last 2 episodes were definitely like very true to the original stuff. And then the last on my list here that I've been watching, some more Space Brothers. Didn't binge, like 30 episodes like I did last time. I watched like 5 more episodes since the last 2 weeks.
Right.
Just kind of filling in the gaps. I was sick last week, so I kind of missed a few days of work and a couple other things, so I didn't watch too much anime, but Big Brother's still good. Big Brother finally became an actual astronaut, but he's still, even though if you're technically an astronaut, that doesn't mean you're going to get sent into space, even within like a decade, so it's kind of now trying to prove himself to get put on like a backup for a mission or something like that. But it's still really good. I'm enjoying that one a lot. Like I said, that's one of my favorite shows that I've watched in recent times. And besides that, I think that's all I've been watching. So Sir Vega, what you got on your list here?
Well, I'd like to start off that, just having tits and ass doesn't make a show great. But it can, actually.
True.
So on that note, I've been continuing How Not to Summon a Demon Lord.
Yeah, we've got a little scene from a recent,
A
thing
recent episode where,
right up here on the screen.
yeah, where I don't care about spoilers because you're not watching the show for any sort of a story or something like that. You're just watching lewd things happening, and so shut up.
Yeah.
So, you know, you got that fucking cute cat girl being fingered so that she could summon the demon lord. So just from that statement, it's one of those shows that, you know, I'm kind of ashamed to try to recommend to other people and all this stuff. And it's just, there's a draw to it. It's been a while since I've seen such a hyper fucking sexualized show like this.
That's true.
Yeah, so it's just like, I thought I saw it all. You know, I thought Queensblade was my limit, and I've seen some raunchy ass stuff in Queensblade, so I thought nothing would get me.
For sure.
You know, so, you know, hey, you know, you diddle a fucking cat girl, you get a lolly ass demon lord. So, would I recommend this show? No, not really. But if you happen to come across it, you know, and you happen to enjoy it like I do, you're fine. It's not the worst thing.
Yeah.
Like another fucking isekai show out this season, but on that note of isekai, you know, we got isekai izakaya.
Right.
Still very wholesome and delicious. Like, so far I've been one episode behind for this week, but it's been really nice still. Like, fuck, I forgot what they ended up cooking, but it was really delicious and easy to fucking do.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a really nice show to watch still. Of course, we mentioned Chio. And I've been watching Overlord Season 3.
Yeah.
I believe I'm like 8 episodes in. I might be caught up at this point. Yeah, I believe I'm caught up.
Did you just start that recently then?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, it seems like a clusterfuck of a lot of stuff. It's kind of like one of the most blandest seasons I've probably watched from it.
Yeah.
But I ended up watching it knowing that, you know, people have been complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because of how the studio is taking the direction in a chronological order.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just suffering from the, I guess, the volume it's in. But,
yeah.
You know, people are starting to find out that Momonga or Aizo Gal is gonna try to take over the world, and shit's happening.
Mm-hmm.
And you get nice ass moments where they go to like, honestly, it was a really weird fucking season so far. Like, the first episode literally was just taking a break, like having the people just take a break. And just kind of a mess, but I've been enjoying it still. And let's see, the next thing I've been watching is Blade Runner. And I gotta say, it's taken me at least most of my life to watch this movie.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So I ended up watching it on Labor Day. On Labor Day on Monday, and I gotta admit I enjoyed it. It was definitely one of those movies that made you think a little. It was also rape, you know, just saying. She didn't want it.
She did want it.
She did?
She did.
Well, even if she didn't...
That's why she ran away with him after.
Nah. It's Stockholm Syndrome right there.
Nick.
I don't know.
She's a fucking replicoid.
She's a replicant.
Replicant, yeah.
Same with Harrison Ford, in my opinion. Like, I'm just saying that. And
yeah, it's funny because I remember you mentioned that you're gonna watch it, so I watched it in the past 2 weeks too, just because it's been a few years since I watched it, so I'm pretty fresh on it too.
So she wanted it.
She wanted it.
She wanted it. Alright.
That's why she ran away
But
with
if I don't know, I like the idea that she didn't want it and then got Stockholm syndrome.
him. Nah.
You know, just became subservient to the dick.
Damn.
But no, I mean it's Harrison Ford. Who wouldn't want to run away?
Yeah, I mean, if he raped you, would you not want to go with him after? I mean, come on.
Alright, so yeah, I ended up watching it. It was a really enjoyable sci-fi movie.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
A lot of the effects made me laugh a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean it's
Like,
fucking what, 3 decades old or some shit at this point.
It's kind of dated in some of the, well, I guess physics-wise, that is not where you want to have the vents shoot out so you can go vertical. Otherwise, you'd be doing backflips or forward flips in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
So, I really enjoyed it, and I gotta watch this second one.
Yeah, I think the second one was actually pretty good. I watched that back in February, and it's pretty enjoyable.
And last thing I've been watching was a Netflix movie called Extinction.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel horrible because I can't remember the guy's name, so I have to look it up. But
Okay.
it stars the guy who was like the Mexican dude in Ant-Man.
In which movie?
Like he's this Mexican guy in Ant-Man.
I never watched that movie, so.
Well, he kind of had this funny thing with where he explains things really, really strangely. But I like that's where I know him from. His name is Michael Pena.
Okay.
So it stars kind of him as this family guy when this whole like alien-like invasion happens. So like he has these visions or something like that, and like they're telling him to go see a doctor and all this stuff, and it's just like when he's gonna go see the doctor, he just decides, nah, I'm gonna just go home and like call it quits. And then this alien invasion happens, and like they're gunning down they're gunning down people and all this stuff in these robot-looking things, in like these drones. Then they got ground forces happening, and it's just one of those movies that you're just thinking it's an action movie where like it's just an alien invasion, and then now it's not. It turns out that the people invading are actually humans, and the people that are there are actually robots. So it's just like one of those turns of twists or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's like Judgment Day happened, and like instead of destroying all humans, when they conquered the world, they let them go to fuck off somewhere else, and like humans, like some hundreds of years, like 100 years or something later, they fucking come back and like in colonies and shit somewhere out in space to just try to take the planet, and these fucking rebreather looking things that look alien like. It's fucking great. Like, but it's just like it's kind of got this whole like science fiction thing that I dig, robots versus human. So most of the people in this movie didn't realize they were robots, but it just sets up for this whole premise of another movie where they will be fighting knowing they are robots. And
Yeah.
I just want them to go all out. Like fucking put rocket pods on everything, like fucking women and children. Just I kid you not, man. Just go all out ham, because the fucking robots you could add on, man.
It's true.
Fucking chainsaw dildos for all I care.
Fuck it. Alright. So I guess let's move on to our next section here.
So yeah, that's all I've been watching. Playing, I guess I should probably take it over.
It's nothing new, so.
Yeah. So I've been playing Destiny 2. I know I finished the campaign recently for the Forsaken. I gotta admit, I'm kind of miffed only that your character only has like about 9 lines of dialogue throughout that entire campaign. You don't hear it anywhere else. It's just whatever. But everything else, solid. Like, I've been having fun with Gambit, and they've had a lot of, they give you a lot of cosmetic stuff, like, it's not an issue anymore. So, I've just been playing and just grinding out for certain gear for light level. And yeah, that's kind of it.
Damn.
It's definitely worth the money I paid for. If it's coming out with more stuff like this.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So,
So me, I don't have anything new as well either. So, like I mentioned, I've been playing Azure Lane. I'm still playing that. It's
I think you got something to say though.
It's good. So they dropped a new event recently. So this event had 3 new boats. They had Atago, the sister of Takao. Atago is a big titty Onesan, not to be confused with the Cancol Atago, the blonde girl, big titty girl.
Oh, okay, see, there you go. That was the other big question.
And then there's Prince of Wales, which I still have yet to pull or farm. And then there's a Vampire, the only girl in the game that's voiced by my girl Ria Kugamiya, which I pulled recently. Trying to work up to get her up to 100 affections so I can marry her, have her oath to me, to get her wedding outfit and her. Basically, in this game, whenever you do that, you get even like a whole new set of voice lines. You get a buff for the ship when you marry them, all this stuff. So, working up to get her affection up to to the point where I can oath her, and it's pretty good.
She is a little girl.
I mean, she's a couple 100 years old, so it's alright. She's a vampire.
It's alright. She's legal, guys.
She's a vampire lolly. She's she's older than anyone else. Legal.
She's legal.
Totally okay. It was good. And otherwise, I've been playing pretty much primarily Path of Exile still. The new league is super fun. I've been having a blast with it. And nothing really new. It's good. Every time I mention that I play Path of Exile, it's always fun. There was a few bumps with their development process in the new content, but they've since addressed those. And I mean, they've got a pulse on the community, and I would probably say out of any online gaming community, the Path of Exile community is the one that's probably the happiest with their game developer, like by far out of anyone else, just because of their community manager, because of the developers and how like in touch they are with their entire community and everything. Everything always gets addressed in one way or another, pretty much. Either directly or indirectly answer questions on forums, Reddit, everything. They have a pulse on that thing, and it's always pretty nice that the developers actually give a shit about you. So that's what I enjoy, and the game itself is amazing and fun, and I'm still playing that. So otherwise, I got nothing else. I think we can move on already. Maybe that might have been our shortest
segment in a while
ever.
Yep. Destiny 2, Path of Exile,
and here comes another short one with Mari dabbing.
Alright, so I got one.
I think this might be our most disgusting dab ever.
Yeah, it really is.
It's really foul. I'm very disappointed in it.
It's an abomination to fucking mankind.
I think we might just have to start reusing our old dabs for Season 2, after our 1-year anniversary.
We might. We will. In not the same order.
Yeah.
But I gotta say though, reading. I'm done.
Shit.
I know, haven't read anything.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Damn. So is this the first time we've ever just had an empty segment?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, Sean. Would you like to tell me what you've been reading?
Jack shit, man.
Jack shit.
Jack shit.
So can you tell us a little bit about Jack shit?
Well, there's really nothing to it.
Alright, so I guess we're done.
Alright, let's do
our world-breaking fucking fastest segment.
That actually is that's a world record fastest 2 segments in a row. Damn. Not even 30 minutes in, we're at the news.
Alright, so I'll start it off because I have a kind of shorter list of it. So, for news, I don't know if you guys are listening to, or watching politics or anything, but There's this Congress. No, is it Congress or is it fucking what is it? Um. Okay, so I
So,
don't know the
wait,
story for it is.
Uh-huh.
It's horrible because my notes just have it as like 4chan trolls the internet to think that the OK sign is a white power symbol.
So, do you actually know the story of why people think that?
It was a 4chan post to like try to convince that the thing is a W and this is a P upside down.
Yeah, exactly.
To be white power and all this shit.
The whole point is that it worked and that they fucking pranked people
to thinking
that the OK sign means white power. And it was just to basically expose how gullible the media is to fucking everything that's just said online. And it fucking worked. And now everything, every time anyone does an OK sign, someone has to post saying, "Oh, they're fucking white nationalist, Nazi, piece of shit," all this stuff.
Something like that. And it happened to a half Jewish, half Hispanic, I believe. Half Jewish, half Hispanic senator, I believe, who just happened to be present in, I believe, is either the Congress seats that is happening right now, or oh no, it's one of the judge seats. They're just can't remember the guy that they were going for, but she did the OK sign, and people ended up flipping out on the internet and like everywhere.
I saw two more. So PewDiePie did one.
PewDiePie did one
where his thumbnail was that, and he wanted people to just fucking edit him. He put himself behind a green screen with the OK sign, and then he had people posting that he's a fucking Nazi white nationalist. And then there was one today where someone they were on the news, and it was the Coast Guard, and some guy just memed him. He did this in the background. He did the OK sign in the background, and fucking people went ballistic on that, saying he was the goddamn Nazi and all this stuff.
And
like,
it's just so dumb. Like, they got fooled, and like some people know that they got fooled, and then some people know that they got fooled and are still keeping it going
because they don't want to admit how stupid they are and that they believe everything that mainstream media outlets tell them.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's just really hilarious that this 4chan thing that happened years ago finally, like, I don't know if it was years ago. It could have been like recently.
Was maybe about a year ago, but it's like it keeps popping up here and there where people just keep saying, "Oh, that's the OK sign. You're a Nazi." It's just like you keep having these isolated incidents.
It's just fucking great. Like,
yeah, I laugh every time I see it.
Every time something that retarded happens, I love it. So next thing, I don't know if you have anything to say about it, but the right there.
Oh, okay. So
Do you have anything on that?
Yeah, I do. I believe.
I'll hold off on it then. So, California.
No, actually, I didn't write it down, so you can go ahead and mention it, and then I'll chime in.
All right, so I'll mention it right now. So California's gold standard net neutrality law kind of passed. It just needs to be signed in.
Mm-hmm.
But it's passed the voting so far, so we'll be having a nice protected internet in California.
Mm-hmm.
So we wouldn't be screwed over more or less by providers, such as like having like certain websites throttled or fucking blocked, or other websites fucking like boosted and all this stuff.
Right.
So it's just there's no favorability, which it's better that way.
Yeah.
I mean, especially since recently you've got a few things going on in the world with what was it, the EU passing
Articles 11 and 13.
Articles 11, 13, and then fucking Australia doing this whole like huge giant fucking internet privacy kind of thing going on. So it's just small victories, I guess. So yeah. The next one is NetJu no Susumu director calls out Crunchyroll's charity fraud.
Yeah, there's a whole picture. You can find it online if you just probably Google that. The NetJu Susumu director. It's Crunchyroll charity fraud.
It's based off his Twitter, right?
Yeah, he mentioned it all on his Twitter, and someone just translated it and put it in like an English, image.
Yeah. Which definitely helpful for us. At least it would have been last podcast.
Yeah,
But,
it's kind of funny because while this whole thing, and I was reacting and talking about the Answer Man's, response about
Answer Man or Answer Man,
yeah,
Anime Man.
Yeah, Answer Man's response on Anime News Network to Digibro's whole rant, and how he talked about how much money Crunchyroll's giving, and I straight up called out saying I think that's complete bullshit. And then you have an actual big director in anime,
a successful director.
yeah, successful, maybe not popular, but very successful, award-winning, all that stuff. He's been in the industry. He's done this stuff, saying that the numbers are also bullshit, from someone in the industry saying that that's not what Crunchyroll is actually doing. And so I'm just happy that I have some validation that I was right, and that the numbers seem fishy to me, and it just kind of seemed like bullshit. And I mean, I don't know what the real story is, but it definitely seemed very far off from what Answer Man had mentioned, because like I mentioned before, Crunchyroll does not have hundreds of millions of dollars that they're giving every 3 months to the anime industry. That's just not feasible for them. They're not even worth that much. Their entire company, it's like they don't have that kind of capital, and so the numbers that were given were very, 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 very far off from what they're doing. And if they're claiming that they actually send that much money and all this stuff, then yeah, it's a charity fraud or some kind of other fraud.
Well, I mean, they're definitely, it's false advertisement, that's for sure. Because that's literally how they're advertising it. I mean,
about giving money to the anime industry and studios,
and this says otherwise. So I mean, I just wanted to say this is coming from a director who, his Twitter itself is kind of a little bit up in the air to
but
let's just say he doesn't like foreigners.
But I'm gonna believe someone who's worked in the anime industry directly versus someone who shills for Crunchyroll because they're paid by Crunchyroll.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean. This is definitely insightful information. So, next thing I got is, I don't know about you, but I'm sure, Sean, do you like In-N-Out?
No.
Ah.
Did I just hurt you?
You just did.
I actually think In-N-Out's probably like one of the worst burger joints that exists.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Okay, you need to leave.
Oh, alright.
No.
Catch you later, man.
Get out.
Signing
Get
out.
Okay. Nah, I mean, I love me some In-N-Out, like, I would probably kill someone for In-N-Out. Could you not? Someone in this room, easily, without a fucking thought, if someone offered me an In-N-Out burger.
Damn, I'll send you a funny thing I read earlier, but
there was this kind of weird boycott that happened recently over In-N-Out burger, just because In-N-Out supposedly donated to the Republican Party, which kind of got this weird boycott thing happening with like this. I don't know if it was a California senator or something like that. But he ended up calling out that, and it's just kind of dumb because In-N-Out ended up coming out saying, okay, no, we donate to both parties. It just
exactly.
It kind of got taken out of context and all that. So
which, as it usually does, because almost every corporation has probably made contributions to both parties for various things at any given time. That's just the nature of business,
And also the nature of business is you can't, just because they donated didn't affect their sales at all. It's just come on, people want to get an In-N-Out burgers, they will, boycotting them like Chick-fil-A.
I mean, most of the time it's for shit like advertising. It's like they're gonna put their name on these big campaigns or whatever just because there's eyes watching and stuff, and they want people to buy their shit.
Yeah.
It's not that they're literally just trying to campaign for certain things. It's fucking just advertising.
Yeah. Well, that's. I found it kind of just funny that it kind of just happened like a week ago and fell through a week ago.
But yeah, people who eat it In and Out
Go on,
are gonna stop eating at In and Out
Okay, there
because
you
they're
go.
too degenerate to try anything else.
Hey, just because we don't have a Whataburger here,
Yeah,
I'm assuming you're in defense of Whataburger.
actually, I am. I had it before it was cool. Before I even came to California, it was good shit.
That's because it came from down south.
Exactly. I'm from the South.
Fuck you. Anyways, what do you have on the news?
I got a couple of things here, so I've been keeping up with a few specific things. So, first one is Steam. So we remember the Steam titty apocalypse that happened, a month and a half, 2 months
You
ago,
mean
something like that.
the Steam Titty Apocalypse that didn't happen?
It didn't happen. Well, it sort of happened, but got reversed pretty fast.
Yeah.
And now, so Steam has made a full, like blog posts about this, and so basically, the idea now is that Steam has an adults-only filter for things for video games, like specifically for porn games, hentai games, stuff like that. And so games that have this stuff or are going to be released on Steam like this no longer need to censor their content to get onto Steam, or they don't have to release uncensored patches after the fact, after they've been released. So games like Honey Pop, whatever, these other porn games that I mentioned, like Melty's Quest and other shit. Basically, what they can do right now is they can put all their porn back on the version of Steam and just put it under the adults only category, and it's fully, not censored at all, has all the content, and so you can get your titty fix from Steam now. So it's pretty cool. So hopefully they keep it like this and they don't double down on taking it off, and also be responsible, because there are many shitty porn games out there. I would know as someone who's downloaded 2,000-ish over the years,
Which you passed on to me.
I passed you on some good ones, so don't complain. I filtered through
On that hard drive you gave me?
Yeah, I filtered. Those ones are not filtered. Those are the unfiltered ones, because that's from 2013.
See what I mean?
But see, I've been through the gauntlet. I've been through thousands of porn games, and so basically just buy your games responsibly. Honestly, what I would do is, if you see a Japanese porn game on Steam, go look at it on DL Site or DMM for
YouTube.
the original content.
If
and
there's a review for it from some gutsy, saucy faggot like us.
a review, or go look at the original screenshots and make sure it's something you want, because there's lots of shitty ones out there. Or if you need personal recommendations, you can always ask me. I got you covered. So now we got some salt here. So the Witcher Netflix series, we saw it about 2 weeks ago that they had posted a thing.
Is it canceled?
I hope so. No. They had done this thing on Twitter where the Witcher series said, we're for open borders, no all this stuff, taking refugees. We want people to do this and that. And people are like, okay, whatever, you're using your platform for this. You shouldn't be, because that's not what it's for. But then they had a casting call that they put on where they wanted Ciri, the main female protagonist of Witcher, to be cast as anyone who's either black, Asian, or minority ethnic, I think it is. Yeah, BAME, BAME. Black, Asian, minority ethnic. So basically anyone who isn't white is essentially what BAME
So why
means.
isn't it black, Asian, Mexican, and other ethnic?
Pretty much. Yeah, so
Am I not good enough?
if only you were black.
See, I see. I guess you want me for my big dongle.
Yeah, exactly. So, and the only problem with this is that Ciri is an established character. She's not some original character. She's been markedly put into the video games as a white girl.
An
But
albino kind of looking girl.
the original novels, I
Depict
think
her
in
as such.
4 or 5 times in the novels, say that she's extremely pale white, like very, very white. Like she's very pale from where she comes from, and her whole race is white.
I don't know, man. Maybe they could. Okay, I'm gonna quote a movie where the background subtext is they have the technology to make a black person white.
I don't need to hear it.
There you go.
Because it's just stupid. So
It is stupid.
Again,
but I mean, I'm just saying maybe they can make theories out of it.
Again, so the problem for anyone listening, the problem is not that black people are in media. The problem is that you want to force white people out of the media when a character that has been established for many, many, many years, many, iterations, novels, video games, has been one specific way, and then you want to just change them in the face of forcing diversity, and that's the problem.
I mean, they kind of did something similar with the Teen Titans TV show.
Oh man, do we want to talk about that? That's just disgusting.
We might as well, just because of how trashy.
I mean,
no offense, I like Starfire, but I don't like Starfire in this
I love Starfire. She's kind of like that ditzy, like kind of dumb, but really loving, strong character.
You see, she's Saki from Shindo's Metamorphosis, in that mode where she dresses up and still hasn't been corrupted.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just, she dresses like a slut, acts like a very ditzy, naive girl.
In the new one, the new Teen Titans live action, she's a fucking looks like a goddamn prostitute from the goddamn corner of like I don't know, New York or some shit. She looks really bad. And you've got Beast Man looking like a fucking like
Beast Boy, right?
Yeah, Beast Boy looking like a goddamn emo teenager. You got Raven even looking worse, like she fucking came straight out of Tumblr. Well, straight out of 12-year-old emo Tumblr.
Does she have a cape at least?
She's got a trench coat.
Yeah, see, this is
and
why
the only one that looks even like a superhero is Robin, but he's like a fucking edgy faggot who, in the trailer, fuck Batman. All that kind of stuff. It's like, Jesus Christ. We mentioned this before, but yeah, there's
a reason in the comics and in the show that he was Batman. And I have no idea why to this day. I'm just saying Bruce Wayne drank a little and did something.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
I don't know. It sounds about right. As far as I'm concerned with my research.
All right, I'm gonna just dig out of the salt here because I'm done being salty. So let me get into some good shit. So Tokyo Game Show, one of my favorite of all the game shows that happens during the year.
All the salt.
So they had a pre-show already. What is it? I think the beginning of the week, Monday or so. So 5 or 6 days ago, something like that. The actual dates for Tokyo Game Show are the 19th through the 23rd, so the full game show doesn't happen until next week. But the pre-show showed a lot of things, some interesting stuff actually that we hadn't seen before or that they were going to show, and there's still more that they're going to show during the Tokyo Game Show. So a few things I wrote down here that were kind of interesting that we had seen. So Sega's Yakuza studio announced a game called Judge Eyes. This game looked amazing. They showed like a 5 or 6 minute story trailer and then like a 5 or 6 minute gameplay trailer.
Wait, so this is the creators of
Yakuza. So
is Demon Bear gonna be in it?
No. So this is a fully new IP called Judge Eyes. So I will say from the story trailer, this looks exactly like some like super big, essentially like Japanese Hollywood, like detective dramas. Like it looked fucking good, like from a story-wise perspective, I'll just mention the story briefly. The story is that this detective, or it was a lawyer, sorry. A lawyer worked his ass off on this case for a long ass time, getting this one guy out who was accused of murder, got him acquitted, and then like a week later, there was like a case that came up like that said that that guy had killed his girlfriend and burned down his house. And so this guy, obviously, in Japan society, he he got kicked out of his job, fully exiled out of the lawyer community and everything, because it was one of those things. It's like, no, he actually was a murderer or something like that, but it seems like the story is like that's the guy actually is not the murderer. So you're kind of going on this vigilante detective kind of role, trying to figure out the full story of how this happened, of how these murders happened.
To clear your name.
Pretty much to clear your name, to clear your old client's name and everything. And it looked fucking good as hell, and the gameplay was definitely Yakuza-like, where you had this kind of like beat 'em up style stuff. You had this like detective stuff that you did. It looked fucking sick. I'm actually really excited for that game because
I mean, this is the first I've heard of it, and I'm interested.
Yeah, it looked really cool. Check out, so it's on YouTube. There's 2 trailers for it, a gameplay and a story trailer. It's called Judge Eyes. And next we saw a new Sekiro Shadows Die Twice trailer, which
it's not on, I mean, it's coming out on PC, which surprised me.
Yeah, PC, PS4, probably Xbox, I'm sure, at some point.
I'm sure. Switch.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Switch, but
maybe Switch one day.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But yeah, they showed another trailer,
Mm-hmm.
some new stuff. They showed a boss. They showed some other stuff. Again, they're just hyping that up. The game, I've already mentioned it like 3 or 4 times because it keeps showing new content every few weeks. Game looks amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like the best. Okay, so what I learned is that the game was actually going to be a Tenchu game, but for one reason or another, IP reasons or direction reasons, they changed it and kind of took it away from that. But just the fact that it was going to be a Tenchu game, and they kind of kept the spirit of Tenchu, stealth ninja game from old PS1, PS2 days, makes me really excited because that was one of my favorite series back in the day.
Right.
So it's definitely got some like stealth, assassination ninja stuff going on, but then it also has the Dark Souls, Bloodborne-esque stuff going on with it's a big mix of that, which makes me really excited, and just
I still
seeing
need
the
to beat
combat.
up Ludwig. I mean, it's in the guide, man. Like,
Nigga's like one of the easiest bosses. Come on, dog.
nigga, it's in his fucking like.
How you gonna kill what's his name, the accursed child that came from space?
Child of Cosm.
Yeah, child of Cosm. But you can't kill Ludwig. Pathetic.
Oh, that's because he doesn't give you any time to breathe.
Nigga, once you take him down to his one arm, it's easy.
No. Have
Easy.
you?
I haven't.
There you go.
I haven't even fought him
Fuck
once. I saw the fight once. I thought pathetic. The child of Cosm though, that looked way worse.
It is. Anyways, yeah.
So yeah, game looks amazing. I think it's actually there's a release date. I think it's like February.
When is it?
For Sekiro. I think it's February next year. That's dropping, so I'm pretty excited about that. So next that they showed in the pre-show was Gungrave Gore. So there was a Gungrave VR game that got shown. I think that already came out a few months back. That was I'm not sure if it was similar to Gungrave, but who cares? It's VR. So they showed this Gungrave Gore teaser, which basically just showed a 3D render of Gungrave and all of his equipment and everything. Looked badass. I'm hoping it's going to be something fully related to the story, the prequel. Actually, the prequel is my favorite part of it, but even if it's just the same, stuff that happened in the PS2 game and the anime, I'd be super excited because Gungrave is one of my favorite stories out there. So hopefully they show more of that at Tokyo Game Show during the dates between the 19th and the 23rd, but I'm excited for that. They showed the Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. Going to get that. Comes out January 11th. I'm hyped for that. Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition.
Shit.
So this is the old one from the GameCube era that I believe never got a full translation. It got a fan translation on emulator, but never got an official, release in Western countries.
I mean, I remember the name Vesperia, but I don't believe it came out in the West.
Exactly, but it's one of the most popular ones ever. Like, people thought it was probably like the last and one of the best Tales games ever made. And so that's getting its full Western release January 11th.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited about that. I'm going to get that because I do love Tales games. I've now played 4 of them, and I've loved every single one I've played. Well, maybe not. I did love Existeria, but had problems. Next they showed was something called Project Awakening. Looked like a fucking huge budget game, like some kind of Monster Hunter X, I don't know, Dark Souls X Shadow of the Colossus type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It looked pretty good. Like, even just the physics engine looked completely from the ground up. Not sure if it was something like Unreal or Unity. I kind of doubt it. It looked pretty original, but it looks like a game where you take a character and you fight these fucking crazy monsters, and it looked pretty sick. They really didn't show much of it, but and they didn't have a full name. They just called it Project Awakening. Looked pretty sick. They showed a Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles remaster, which is also pretty exciting. That was a game from the GameCube era. The only problem with the game is that you had to have the GameCube game with GameCube, a Game Boy Advance, and a link cable just to play the game, because you could only play it with the companion Game Boy Advance whole thing with the link cable and everything. So basically the game was a pain in the ass to play if you didn't have all the hardware for it. Even if you did have all the hardware, it was still a pain in the ass to play. And so they're coming out with a full remaster that should be, a lot easier to play and everything. So I'm excited about that because people have always regarded Crystal Chronicles games as pretty good. So I'm excited to see that come out. No date for it just yet, I don't believe, but we'll see it probably next year, I'm assuming. So I think last podcast I mentioned this, that The Last Remnant got delisted off of Steam.
And do you have the answer?
I have the answer because they showed it in the pre-show. It's getting a remaster.
I called it.
Nick,
I said remastered. You said, what?
No, I thought it was going to be a remaster or something because there's no reason that they would delist the game. That they're just, it's just sitting there for no reason. But yeah, so they're doing a remaster. I don't think there's a date on it. Or actually, no, I think it is coming out like December something. I didn't write it down, but...
What about the people that own it?
You still have your original copy if you owned it. And you can play the original one. Unfortunately, I don't think there's any like discount or anything if you own the original. So
you gotta buy it.
But it's hard to say if they improved anything. They didn't say. They just basically showed a teaser saying, showed some graphics, said remaster, and I think they showed like December or something like that. So I don't know if there's actual gameplay improvements or if it's just graphical only. If not, then I won't buy it. But if there's actual gameplay improvements and system improvements, then I might pick it up. But we'll see.
I mean, I never had a chance to play it, so is it worth for me who hasn't played it to get it?
It's I would honestly say if you're not a massive JRPG fan, then don't. I would say if you want to get into JRPGs, then there's many other better choices to do that with.
Xenoblade 2?
Yeah, man, right there. But it's kind of one of those games for like super deep JRPG fans that really love the genre for really specific reasons. But if it's kind of something that you're just like, oh, it looks like a cool JRPG, I want to get into them, I'd say there's better choices.
Okay.
So now this is one that we can both be excited for.
Hold on, let me grab my brew.
Catherine Full Body has a release date.
Yeah, but hold
February 14th, which is Valentine's Day.
So we aren't moving along topics. It's just we're really excited for Catherine.
Yeah, so they had like a flashback trailer showing Catherine with a K back in high school.
Best Catherine, by the way. And if you think the blonde slut is better, don't even talk to me.
We're going to stream this game, and we're going to have many a debate about many things. We're going to figure out. it's gonna be. We'll figure out something interesting to do for the choices.
I feel like maybe the best way we can fucking do it is have a side-by-side stream where we record ourselves talking and just have our gameplay separately recorded, and then just have a side-by-side comparison when we do our races.
Alright, we'll figure something out.
I mean, because it's gonna be a puzzle game, so it's just like, it doesn't matter what our options are besides aesthetic. The main thing is who's faster, me or Sean.
Damn, you don't care about the girls? We got the new girls and everything?
The girls may be secondary, but they will be important.
Alright, we'll figure this out. We'll have we'll do something fun for the channel for Catherine full body release.
I'm speaking out of my ass right now, but I mean, hopefully something interesting.
We're gonna brainstorm something for that, but it comes out February 14th
next year.
Yeah, next year. So look out for Valentine's Day. And,
all I know is I'm getting that boy pussy first. If it is a boy.
I don't know if it's a boy, bro.
I don't know either.
Okay. My bet is that there's no genitalia, and that there's a whole other side to her where she's an angel, and she has nothing there, and she's looking out for your best interests. She's kind of got like some perfections and all this stuff, but there's no genitalia there. I'm guessing. The speculation,
So she's a Barbie doll.
Something like that, yeah. We'll see.
Or worse yet, or better, in your opinion, Ken doll.
Damn. Ken dolls don't have anything either, though.
They don't.
So it's the same either way. We'll see. And then last but not least, there was a Nintendo Direct that just happened 2 days ago.
This one's important.
So yeah, they delayed it from last week. It was supposed to happen last week, but they just did it last week or 2 days ago on Thursday. So a few things they mentioned. It was a 3DS and Switch trailer. Or it was a direct for 3DS and Switch stuff. They showed a few 3DS games, like nobody gives a fuck because 3DS is mostly dead. Some Switch stuff like the Starbound game with
3DS is kind of dead, yeah. Besides Pokemon,
more or less, yeah. I mean, but the new Pokemon games are coming out for Switch anyways, so it's pretty much dead.
Yeah, it's an end of a mobile era, man.
Yeah, so I mean, for the Switch they showed a teaser
back in the day when we got a good porn of fucking like, what was her name? Homura or what's it's the girl from fucking Hoenn region.
Hoenn region?
Yeah. She's called May and fucking
Yeah, May, the dark girl.
Yeah, but that's not her Japanese name. Wait, the dark girl? No.
Tan.
She's not Tan. She's
Mai. Mai is the other one.
It's not Mai.
I don't know fucking Pokemon really.
I swear to you, it's not Mai. Cause.
Correct us if you know.
Yeah.
Which bitch she's talking about?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's whatever. It doesn't matter what flavor of fucking Poke bitch you like. It's just. I grew up with Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald.
I grew up with Gen 1, so Misty was my girl, or Kasumi in the Japanese.
There you go, see?
But I still check out the dojins, of course, that come out, but I don't play the games.
Yeah, same here.
But anyway, so yeah, they showed on the Switch, the new Pokemon games. They said Luigi's Mansion 3 coming out.
Mario Party.
Yeah, new Mario Party game that's releasing in October, I think about 4 to 5 weeks from now.
You got a Smash bundle coming out.
Yeah, Smash hardware bundle. So this is going to have the dock is going to have a decal of Smash characters on it. The Joy-Cons are gray with Smash logo on them. And then it has a download code for the game. I am going to get that. Which it comes, the console itself comes out November 2nd. And the game doesn't release until December 7th. But I'm going to get the console early. Maybe play some other games on it, like Xenoblade. And some other stuff.
Dude.
I've already played Dude on PC. I wouldn't play that on Switch. I'd play that on PC. The superior console.
I mean, I do want to play Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So
Yeah,
I'm hyped for that, especially the DLC where you get the fucking
Swimsuits.
delicious ass swimsuits.
There's been so much good art for the swimsuits.
I know.
If you're looking around on Pixiv
Or my Twitter.
or Twitter, on
I've been retweeting a lot of fucking pirate swimsuit
at Vega Dirty.
at Vega Dirty.
You can find some good pirate swimsuit goodness. There's good shit out there.
There's fucking there's a god out there when you see these.
Exactly. But and then the biggest announcement is that Edwin's now a furry.
Am I? Oh.
So Isabelle was announced for Smash
From the
Animal Crossing.
From the critically hit series, Animal Crossing.
And
And I instantly became a furry.
and now we
I
got
felt
our,
a cosmic force touch me, and I was just like, "Excuse me, what is this? This unexplainable power?" And it turns out I'm a furry.
it wasn't that Isabelle was announced for Smash, but Vega wanted to smash Isabelle.
Hey, not my fault. They made her really fucking good with those fucking size and a fucking mini skirt. Anyway. Yeah.
But yeah, so Isabelle's coming out for
Isabel-
Smash.
yeah.
She's not an Echo Villager like everyone thought she would be.
Yeah, she's her own character, and
She has some special moves that Villager doesn't have.
Yeah, and
It looks pretty interesting, but
I got really excited just because of how I saw her play. It was definitely kind of similar to Villager.
yeah, sort of similar, but with some other stuff that looked pretty cool. And then so there was one thing I'm curious about, and that is something I saw just today.
There is an Animal Crossing game coming out though, right?
Oh yeah. So and also after that trailer, there was a mention that there's a new Animal Crossing coming for Switch in 2019. No date, just next year. But Animal Crossing fans rejoice because it's been a while since a new Animal Crossing since
The DS.
new Leaf on the DS. Yeah. And the last one I played was fucking the original on GameCube, and I grinded that shit for more of my life than I like to admit. So maybe I'll get the one on the Switch. And so something curious that popped up on Amazon was a Smash bundle, which had like kind of a collector's box with Smash on it. And so if you look on the side, it shows all the characters kind of listed with their own squares. And there's 2 squares that are missing, essentially. One of them would be the spot where Isabelle is, because they did not put her. They have actually King K. Rool, and then there's a spot for Isabelle. And then there's one more black spot. So it's very possible that they're going to have one more character announced before the game comes out as their own character right in that last spot, because otherwise the art that they have shown would look kind of weird with just like a black square there. But it looks like they purposely covered up, where another character would be. So I'm assuming they're going to do at least some kind of other announcement, because obviously there's about 3 months.
Ridley is in there, right?
Ridley's already in there. King K. Rool's already in there. Those were 2 of obviously the biggest ones. There's speculation. The biggest newcomer character that's not like an Echo is Isaac from Golden Sun. So Isaac is the main character of the Golden Sun series, old series that came out since the Game Boy Advance. I love that game. It's an RPG series, and
I've never heard of him either.
yeah, it's an old series, and I think it's because they released something Golden Sun recently. Is why people are thinking, there's a chance that Isaac from Golden Sun could get put in Smash, because otherwise it's kind of hard to guess who would be another character that they could put in Smash, just because all the other ones that were like the big ones where people were like, oh, this character or this character have already either been completely denounced by either becoming trophies like Bomberman, like Shovel Knight, like Zero from Mega Man. All those characters, they've already become trophies, and then Ridley, King K. Rool, that kind of stuff have been fully announced. Isabelle, and then other characters, Echoes. Echoes wouldn't be put on the side because they're just side characters, kind of like Dark Samus or Richter for Simon.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe one more character. We'll see. Again, there's like 3 more months until Smash comes out.
Right.
So there's a good chance that they'll do one more direct in between now and then, or some kind of announcement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either gonna be Isaac for Golden Sun, or it's fucking Goku.
Could they get Goku?
Could they get Goku?
Could they get
Could
Goku?
they and would they?
I mean, I think there was a fucking Nintendo version of a. Holy shit! They were on the fucking Game Boy Advance.
So technically Goku's already on Switch because Dragon Ball Fighter Z is on Switch now.
And not to mention, there is an old Dragon Ball fighting game for the
there's a
Game
few,
Boy Advance.
yeah.
There's
and,
a few other ones.
and
but,
for the Super Nintendo as well, I think.
So there's Goku has been in the fucking game.
And could they do Goku? Could it be that insane? Is that too crazy to think?
I know who my next main is.
If they did that, it would literally be the most crazy collab of all time.
Yeah, it really would be. Like
That's hopeful thinking, but if they put that in, I mean,
I guarantee you won't see a bigger collaboration.
I think the
than
biggest
this in 200 years.
Nah, yeah, it'll never happen
years,
again.
It'll never happen in 200 years.
Okay, so the biggest one was obviously Cloud from from Final Fantasy. That was, people were just completely blown away when that happened. Like, whoever would have thought that Cloud
I did.
would have been in a Smash game?
I did because Nomura.
Why would Nomura care about Nintendo?
You see, all he has to do is suck someone's dick to get in their game.
Nomura ain't sucking no dick, nigga.
Nomura's sucking all the dick.
He's sucking no dick now. People are sucking his dick. This nigga owns Kingdom Hearts. Okay, it could be Sora too. You know, it could be Sora in Smash. That's actually even more possible. If you really think about it, Sora in Smash.
Because a good number of the fucking Kingdom Hearts games have come out for the fucking Nintendo.
So yeah, 3DS obviously for like the Dream by Death by Sleep or Dream Drop Memories, whatever.
There's a PSP one too, but that's
okay.
Burst by Sleep or Burst by Sleep.
So what do you think? Do you think Sora is getting in Smash?
I hope not.
Do you think that would happen?
I don't want it to happen.
I don't want it either, but I think it could happen. I think that's actually like a 15% chance. It's that likely.
I absolutely hate Nomura. Everything he touches. I don't want it to happen. I don't want him to get more money than he deserves. And it's a lot. It is a lot.
Yeah.
But he does not deserve it.
If you're in Smash, man, you've made it.
Yeah.
I mean, Cloud's already in there. Even the Advent Children Cloud. What's it?
Okay, don't worry about it.
Alright.
Don't worry about it.
Anyways, so that's all I have. So let's get into our topic anyways. Let's crack him over here.
Alright, so let's get our main topic going. So, our main topic is,
a genre, yeah, slice of life.
So in Japanese, this is, Yashike, or... No, that's an artist.
What?
Is it? What's the Japanese title for, slice of life?
I don't know actually what they call. Actually, that's weird. That's a good question. I actually don't know what they prefer to call that. I mean, I guess it would be something like Nichijo, which that is a series.
Simple life.
Nichijo means everyday life, which is the name of an anime, but it basically just means everyday life, which is essentially what slice of life is. So, so slice of life specifically, if you went by the dictionary definition of like in film and literature and stuff, it basically means, you know, the portrayal of like mundane tasks of everyday life, essentially. So basically it just means, you know, basic events. There's nothing crazy, there's no fantasy going on here, there's no, you know, maybe there's a little bit of drama, but it's not to an extreme amount. There's no real magic necessarily, there's no whatever, you know, it's essentially everyday life in a way that can be entertaining to the audience in some way. Usually, it's kind of combined with comedy because obviously that's the easiest way to kind of make everyday life more entertaining is by comedy and not make it, something else completely, like fantasy or otherwise. So it's usually combined with either drama or comedy. But you have to be careful that it's not too much drama or else it becomes just a drama show and not really just an everyday life show. Because again, the whole point is really just to show almost, it sounds more boring than it is, but just mundane life tasks, essentially, just of everyday life, day by day of people's lives.
And there is a variety of shows like this that are
so again, there's some that can add some comedy in there. There's some that can add a little bit of drama. There's some that add a little bit of maybe romance
or a fantasy element to it.
Maybe a small fantasy element to it, something like that, or just kind of there's just something a little bit extra added to it. Maybe a little bit of mystery or something. But really the whole draw is maybe cuteness, cute girls. Obviously, that can be a draw to slice of life.
Yeah, that's usually the main draw, in my opinion.
But yeah, slice of life, it's usually just, in general, boring, regular, everyday life, but made entertaining by something else like comedy or cute girls or drama, something like that. So Edwin, what broke your slice of life cherry? What was your first slice of life that you ever watched?
Ooh. I wouldn't want to say Clannad, but that is drama.
Yeah, I would say that's closer to just pure drama because...
I would say my first slice of life thing was probably, I'm gonna have to think a little hard on this, but, it's definitely before, a show that kind of made me realize about the whole slice of life genre, which was Hanasaku Iroha.
Okay.
But you know what? I think it was Hanasaku Iroha that broke my slice of life cherry.
Yeah.
So, Hanasaku Iroha is basically a story about a middle school girl who moves in with her grandma, who owns a fucking hot spring hotel inn, and she helps out around as like this helper. She's learning all the tasks of that whole everyday life of being working at this Japanese spa hotel kind of thing. So, she has tension of being a responsible fucking young girl because her mom's just this carefree thing, and her grandma is like this strict Japanese fucking like woman who you can't be carefree, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, you gotta do all the things you have to do. And, you can't be, irresponsible and all this stuff. So, she's, caught in the middle because her mom's carefree and her grandma's too strict. So, she's kind of the best of both worlds. It was a very cute series, and I believe I'm gonna say that's my first.
Okay.
But there have been others that I can't remember. If anything, I'd hate to say this, but I guess my first idea of slice of life would probably be Haruhi.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of fucking average stuff happening there.
I would consider that mostly slice of life with some maybe
sci-fi, fantasy drama.
A little bit of sci-fi, but it's 99% slice of life.
Yeah, it's fucking boring as fuck most of the time.
Right. So, do you want to know what mine is?
No. Alright, yeah.
Damn.
Let's hear it.
It's disgusting. I don't know if you're ready for this.
Oremo?
Nah.
Alright, then it's good.
I wouldn't even consider Oremo slice of life.
It's so drama.
Exactly.
So
mine was... It goes beyond...
It can't be worse than Oremo.
Lucky Star.
That's fine.
So Lucky Star,
I
man,
think
that's...
it's trash, but it's not...
Lucky Star is one of those really interesting shows where it's honestly like a really good show to show to someone if it's one of their first shows ever.
Yeah.
But I think the further you get along, the more you see that it's just one of the worst shows ever made. But you still love it in a way. It's like I would never rewatch it, but I still love it somewhere deep in my heart.
I ended up showing. I hate Lucky Star, but I ended up, because of Julio.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day when he lived where Pablo used to live. He still had the posters Pablo left behind.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of made it a thing where Julio would watch one of those shows. So he got to Eureka 7, he watched it, he loved it. He got to this show, he watched it, he loved it. He watched fucking, no. What's that one with, that's kind of like,
I mean, they were all my posters, so I would probably know which one it is if you mentioned.
The one from Stein, from this one show, the shonen show where it looks like Halloween Town.
Oh, Soul Eater.
Soul Eater, alright, so he watched Soul Eater, I think.
Yeah.
But one show he ended up watching was Lucky Star, and I didn't like Lucky Star, so I was just like, okay, I watched 1 or 2 episodes of Lucky Star with you, but I don't like it too much. He's like, all right. So we watched it, and then I went to work back at the gas station, and then it turns out he ended up watching it all.
Shit, I need to ask him about that.
Yeah, he ended up watching all of Lucky Star. He loved it.
Damn, I need to talk to him about it.
Yeah,
I never knew he watched it.
He watched it. He legit watched it. We're just going down that fucking thing.
Yeah.
That list of fucking posters, anime posters that was just on his fucking ceiling, man.
Because all those posters are ones that I printed myself.
Yeah.
I made them all, and I remember which poster it is. It was the 4 girls.
I don't think he watched Madoka. I don't think he watched Madoka, but I think he watched a good number. He watched Gurren Lagann.
I didn't have a Madoka poster, so that's why. Gurren Lagann, I had a poster.
Actually, you're right. You didn't.
Exactly. Because I remember, man. I printed every single one of those posters myself.
A good number of those posters are in my possession.
Yeah, I mean, I see one right there. I see Lucy from Elven Light. I know that's my poster. I know it is.
I kept it just for you, man.
I have a better one.
There's still a few good number of things and better shows to watch than Elven Light.
Again, it's one of those shows. It's like if you're gonna watch it, you better watch it early.
Yeah.
Because that's the only time you're ever gonna appreciate it.
Yeah. If it's your first gore fucking
exactly
anime, yeah.
But if you watch it after you've watched hundreds of shows, you're gonna be like, man, this is absolute trash.
Yeah, it's weak and it's got no substance.
But if you watch it early, you can kind of appreciate it for what it is, and you can look back on it and say, yeah, that was a good show to watch as a newcomer.
Right.
And that's what I think about Lucky Star. It's one of those shows. It's like I watched it early, and I can appreciate it for what it was, and especially how culturally iconic it was at the time.
It still is culturally popular.
It honestly is, yeah. And it came out back in 2007. The anime did. I think the manga was 2003. But yeah, it came out quite a long time ago at this point.
Right.
And so I watched that probably back in 2011. That was my first slice of life, and that's what broke me into it. And I just fucking loved it. I loved all the characters. I used to know every single one by heart. I have multiple songs from the show. I have the opening memorized in my head after 10 years or so. Oh, it's not 10 years, that's what? 7 years. I still have the entire opening memorized in my head.
What is this show?
Lucky Star.
Lucky Star.
Yeah, I have the opening was one of the most iconic. So you can
sing it in karaoke.
I could sing it in karaoke. I used to know the entire dance because I watched.
You disgust me.
I used to know I don't know it anymore, but I used to know the entire dance. Everything, that was one of those shows that it was just like it took you into some other world where you're just like, damn.
You disgust me, bro. But anyways, I mean, Lucky Star isn't a bad show. Definitely if it's your first show, you can't go wrong with it. But I mean, for fuck's sakes, you guys are fucking disgusting. I feel disgusting about a show that makes their high school girls look like fucking kindergartners. And the adults look like fucking high schoolers.
Again, it was one of my very first shows. It didn't even occur to me that was a thing. and it was the comedy, it was the culture that just like brought me in. The fact that they had like this live action, ending for half their episodes, like it was this whole like ordeal. It's like it was a cultural thing for me, which really took me into it. So that's what I found very, very cool about that, and I'm glad it was one of my very first slice of lives. So next, I'll get into what we like about the genre. So kind of mentioned it first. So Lucky Star again. Lucky Star was one of those cultural things where it was really big at the time, though I didn't know it because I was still an anime noob. I'd seen less than 10 shows. And I think really good slice of life shows really bring out kind of more of a cultural thing than anything, that really bring out what Japan likes about anime. And it's just this whole idea that this mundane, boring show can just become this huge thing, whether it be with people who want to learn the dances of the opening and karaoke of the opening, to know all the characters by heart, to just know all the little things about the show. Like whenever you have a good slice of life show, everyone just cares about the characters so much, and they really want to kind of just become one of the characters, something like that. So what I'm just mentioning here is what we like about the show, and what I was saying is, or what we like about slice of life. And what I was saying is that with really good slice of life shows, is that even though they're really mundane, usually, and boring in their own way, it's that the really good ones have a cultural impact, where people really want to know. Well, there's kind of like this whole thing about it. So people want to, they want to know all the songs of the show. They want to know all the characters of the show. All this stuff. Like they want to really connect with the show on a whole other level, more than a lot of other shows that happen like this. And I think that it's just something that Japan is really good at, and just making everyday life that's usually boring and mundane, somehow they can make it entertaining and make people care about it in a way that really makes you, bond with the characters.
I mean, it doesn't have to be, something everyday and normal, like, living in the city, like making breakfast and all that stuff. It could be something as, strange as like a post-apocalyptic universe, as a Girl's Last Tour. That's basically a slice of life right there.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
And, it's just, it's just like Sean said, it's usually kind of like a subtle comedy kind of thing, but it's usually revolved around the everyday life of the characters.
Right.
But you gotta invest in these characters so you care about them.
But yeah, what I like about it is that they really, really, really get you into the characters. And that's the most important thing about a slice of life show, is getting you invested in the characters. Like,
yeah, if they can't, then there's no point.
Almost every slice of life show I've seen, I remember the characters very well, more than other shows. It's like if I've seen other shows, I may not remember the characters as much. It was like an action show, like a sci-fi show or something. But slice of life shows, they really, really want to make you bond with the characters more than anything, because that's obviously what drives the show forward, is the characters and what they're doing, essentially. So it's like when you have a good slice of life show, you remember the characters very deeply, even years later. Like I said, like, what is it, like 7 years later since I've seen it, I still remember half the characters of Lucky Star and exactly what they like, what kind of character they are, and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I remember Konota's a fucking weeb. She stays on her computer all night.
She plays World of Warcraft.
Yeah. I know, was it Kosaka? I can't remember which one's the older sister. You have the two sisters. The little sister's kind of a cute, shy girl. The older sister's very stern and tsundere. you know, you've got the two pink hair girls. Yeah, I mean, you have the green hair girl and her big dog. Like, and I haven't seen this shit for 7 years, and I still remember the characters just deeply because in slice of life, they really want to make you bond with the characters, and I think that's one of the best things about slice of life.
I mean, I don't care for Lucky Star. I'm one of the few blasphemers here, I guess, but
No, I think you're in the norm.
I just don't like it. It's not I like the idea of it, but I really like the idea of Lucky Star, but I don't like the art style of it. So it's just
yeah, the art style is pretty basic. It's probably one of the most basic shows.
I feel like a pedophile watching it. You know, that's just how I feel. Like, the girls that are in high school look like they're in fucking kindergarten. Like, I just don't like it. So,
fair enough.
So yeah, that's my thing.
Is there anything you want to add about, since I was pretty much the only one ranting about, what you like about slice of life shows?
Well, I just like about how, a lot of the girls are kind of cute without like accentuating anything obvious, like the chest area or something like that.
So yeah, it's like they bring out characters without being
they make characters beautiful without, you know,
lewdness
anything
necessarily.
Like, yeah, you know, without emphasizing certain key areas that are cheating kind of thing. Like,
right.
Oh yeah, she's a huge cup girl or something like that. So
right.
An example would be Flying Witch. Like I love the designs of Flying Witch, just basically because the shirt designs are like realistic.
Yeah.
Not like, but it gives you that realistic reassurance of like, this girl's got big tits, but you can't calculate because of the shirt dimensions and it being stretched out. So
right.
You're like, this girl could be a C cup or a very big B cup. And I'm just like, yeah, it's one of those shows that like makes something so unimportant very attractive.
Right.
So
yeah, I feel you. I think that's one good thing about slice of life, that they make very just like small little things like a big thing, you know, and they're really good at that.
Oh, I would say, okay, my bad. Let me rephrase my first anime that got me into slice of life, K-On!
Oh, the legend.
The legend. So, got into K-On! And all that stuff, so...
But we'll talk about that because I know that's probably one of both of our favorites, so...
Yeah.
I probably should have put this on before the last one, but... So, about how much slice of life have you watched, or do you even know?
I'd say... I have probably watched more than 40.
Damn, 40?
At least 40.
Okay.
And that is, off the top of my head, not accurate.
It's probably not accurate at all.
It is probably not accurate.
It's probably adding dramas and stuff in there.
It could be, but it's still, I believe, I say 40 is accurate. Did I say 40?
Yeah.
I say 40 is accurate enough because I have had a lot of anime under my belt.
Yeah.
So, I'd say it'd be very fucking close to 40.
Because I thought, okay, so I'll admit, I thought mine was closer to 30, but actually mine was about 15. Once I actually went through my entire list of shows I'd watched, and I tried to be pretty strict, and I cut out all the shows that are probably closer to drama or just straight up comedies, you know, like just full comedies rather than actual slice of lives.
Right.
So I broke them down, so I'll actually mention because I wrote them all down in the order that I've seen them. So I watched Lucky Star, Haruhi Suzumiya, Toradora, K-On!, Minami K. Well, okay, some of these have multiple seasons, like Haruhi has multiple seasons, K-On! Has multiple seasons and a movie. Minami K has 3 seasons. So, okay, it's probably, if you count seasons, it's probably closer to like 25 or so. So, Minami K, Tari Tari, Azumanga Daioh, Hyoka, Tamako Market, Yahari Ori Seishun, Season 1 and 2, No No Byori, Season 1 and 2, Kiniro Mosaic season 1 and 2,
Uh-huh.
Euphonium Hibike or Hibike Euphonium season 1 and 2, Nishijo, and then Eurocamp.
Okay, maybe not that many then.
So yeah, that's about, if you count seasons, that's about 25-ish
Alright.
or so.
In my entire thing, probably not 40. I'll say 20.
So yeah, I was like, yeah, I've seen a shitload. And then when I actually counted them from my entire list, I looked at, I was like, damn, it's actually not that many, huh? But it's still a good amount. I'd say there's probably close.
I mean, it's still sizable, yeah.
I mean, and it covers pretty much over a decade of shows from Azumanga, which I think was 2002 up to Eurocamp, which is obviously. Wait, was Eurocamp this year or was that last year?
It was last year.
Yeah, it was last year. Damn, time flies, huh?
Yep. I mean, we were talking about it up until late January.
Yeah, that's true. And then we obviously have Inuyama up here. Not best girl in my opinion, but
you little fucking whore.
Best porn girl, but not best girl. But she has the best porn, obviously.
I think she's the best girl.
My best girl is Rin, and that's why I have Rin as my T-shirt. So I'll say to the stream, I bought 3 shirts.
One for me, one for Sony, one for you.
One for me. And I gave them all to our. I bought 3 different shirts. I bought Rin for me, I bought Inuyama for Edwin, and then I bought Nadeshiko for Santiago, because those are all of our favorite characters. Which that's one thing I love about Slice of Life, is because
you got a different flavor of girl.
You have different flavors for everyone, and usually what happens with most shows is that there's an obvious best girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with Slice of Life, that you can really have big debates about who's best girl, because they really flesh out the characters and bring them out really well. And some people may have very specific taste to certain girls. And even though we might like similar stuff, I think the fact that we would all choose different girls in Eurocamp, even one of the most recent Slice of Life that we've all watched.
Yep.
Just speaks to the volumes of how good a Slice of Life can be, and how it can develop characters and really get you into certain characters more than you might think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, what sold it to me was Kurosai's video of her putting her finger on the fucking skillet. Was it Kurosai or was it someone else?
I don't think I saw the video, so I don't know.
Basically, like, they had a fucking longer video of her putting her finger on the skillet, the metal part.
Yeah.
They made that last for like 10 or 15 seconds.
Oh, yeah. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Kurosai.
Yeah.
So finish this off. So talk about what's your favorite Slice of Life shows that you know of or you've ever watched.
Iroha, K-On!, Tamako Market, shit. I would say Haruhi, technically. This was in the context of the show.
Yeah.
It's not that magical.
So is that your top 3 then?
Yeah, I would say.
Alright, my top 3 are going to be in no particular order. Eurocamp, K-On!, and Kiniro Mosaic.
I can't blame you.
Because I love the comedy in Kiniro Mosaic. It's probably... I watched it after it came out. I didn't watch it when it came out. But that show made me fucking laugh. There's cute girls in it. And I love that show. So, if you want to check out 3 shows, yeah, check my 3, and you got Edwin's 3 here. But there's some good shit. So, I guess let's bring it into our last bit here. So, the recommendations.
Alright, so I don't know about you, Sean, but what do you have to recommend?
So I've got 2 things. Obviously, I haven't read anything in the past few weeks, so I won't say anything about that. But since we were talking about Slice of Life, again, I'll mention I recommend Kiniro Mosaic. It has 2 seasons. They're really amazingly cute, amazingly funny. You've got Karen, the fucking British girl who moves to Japan because she loves Japan, and becomes a student there. And then you got shit, I can't remember, Shino, the Japanese girl that's the reason she likes Japan, is that Shino comes and visits her while she's in Britain, and she gets close to her and wants to go to Japan because of Shino, and then she eventually goes to Japan and lives there and goes to school there, and it's super cute and it's fucking hilarious because Karen's a fucking meme lord to the next level. It's fucking hilarious. You've got the other two characters, Aya and well, I say Aya, that's what she calls her, but it's like Aya Mu or something like that. I can't remember their names, but there's two other characters that are fucking good. It's a good show. Watch that. That's one of my favorite slice of life shows.
Mm-hmm.
And then I recommend, because I haven't recommended it yet, Azure Lane. Again, it's a pretty fun game. You can get it on iPhone or Android. Mm-hmm. It's free to get into. It took me like 3 days to get into it, but once you get into it and you find your waifu, it's good. The fucking pull rates on that game are insanely high. It's like a 7% to get a super rare, which in Fate Grand Order would be like a 5-star, which is like less than 1%. The pull rates are extremely generous, and the farming is basically, you're not really farming for girls except for a few, which are, you'll get no matter what over time. Otherwise you're just farming for equipment to get stronger. And the game is pretty fun. It's easy to get into. It actually has like a good gameplay component, like for getting better and getting skillful. And it's really fun. So Edwin, what you got to recommend us?
Well, I've got a few things to recommend. So for definitely for watching, I would definitely recommend you watch Hanasaku Roja. That is a slice of life I recommended earlier. Like I said, it revolves around our main heroine who moves with her grandma, who works at who owns a hot spring inn, more or less. So she ends up working there, and she goes to school through a train that passes by her town, and it's one of those shows that has her improve as a character. She was already mature enough, and she just didn't have a lot of experience in life, and she ended up growing as a character, with her experience in the show and all that stuff. So it's a really entertaining show. It is a Kyoto animation show, so all the characters are cute, and I definitely recommend it. For playing, I would definitely recommend Lost Odyssey. We recommended a few old games recently, like The Last Remnant, or a few other old ass games. One of the games that I would say influenced me a lot in the RPG scene was Lost Odyssey. I believe the last game that the main music composer of Final Fantasy was involved in.
Yeah, Nobuo Uematsu.
Nobuo Uematsu was involved with Lost Odyssey, I believe.
That's correct.
Yeah, so Lost Odyssey I definitely recommend for playing. Because,
did you actually play it all the way through?
I beat the entire thing. I have not gotten all the secrets, but I definitely beat the main game. And
nice. I never actually beat the game. My favorite part was the story. Was it the 1,000-year the 1,000-year journey? The side story that you found, it was like a flashback story.
Was it one of the vignettes or novella stories?
Yeah, it was the novellas that you found, and that it had a whole story that you could read.
Yeah,
there was an amazing story in that was just so good.
That was the main reason I stuck with the game, was because I really liked the novella stories in there. I got drawn into it. So like any game that gives you an attention span to like read for like 20 minutes straight, a story, I give props to.
Yeah.
And Lost Odyssey did that for me.
You know, it sucks. I still never finished the game because the way I played it was actually GameFly. If you remember that service.
Ah, fucking disgusting.
Yeah, I got it from GameFly, and I only had it for a certain amount of time, and I never had enough time to play through it enough.
You'd never have enough time for an RPG.
Yeah. But I want to finish it one day. I hope they bring it on PC or something.
I have it on devolve, so
shit.
Yeah, get a bone.
Never in my life.
Never in your life.
I'll never touch a bone.
All right. Then you're dead.
I'll just take yours. You won't be able to play Destiny. Well, actually, you have Destiny on like every console, so you're fine.
No, I have PC now.
You'll be fine.
I'm gonna get on PS4 eventually.
Disgusting.
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So definitely recommend Lost Odyssey. I like that for play.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely enjoyed it. As for reading, I would probably recommend for reading Black Library's Fulgrim. It is based on the 30K Horus Heresy series.
Yeah.
What makes Fulgrim really great is this is the legion that like I would say is the most loyal to the Emperor of Mankind and all that stuff.
Yeah. And
they're supposedly like held in high regard. And in recent times in the Lord of Warhammer 40K, they're fucking depraved degenerates that fuck everything that move.
Damn.
Like they have no need to reproduce. They just fuck everything that like even breathes and has a heartbeat to like fucking death.
Nice.
To fucking pound it to fucking death. So like, you know, that's just their war. Like they're the pleasure-seeking faggots. So,
I respect it.
I mean, they have a lot of other stuff to them. Like they seek to be perfect and everything, like swordsmanship or anything like that, or the perfect gamer or something. Could be a reflection of them, but like, yo, come on. You can fuck a girl to death. So yeah,
that's the dream.
That's the dream, and like basically this is their rise to that. So it's definitely a good read if you're a fan of the Warhammer 40K series. Definitely you're gonna want to read this, and if you're not, well, you're gonna want to read it because it's a very good read either way.
Fair enough.
All right, so the next thing we got is tags, right?
Tags, yeah.
What you got? Let's see. I got something called humiliation.
It's not bad.
You know, not a bad thing. And for my tag for humiliation, I would like to fucking call out Fan no Hitori from the notable series of the Parasite Queen.
I love Parasite Queen. I also love dolls.
Yeah, or their series, the Doll series.
Yeah.
Which is basically Japan legalizing human prostitution.
Human owner holes.
Basically, yeah, human pocket. No, human sex dolls, basically.
Pretty much, yeah.
So basically, you know, they conscript people of society to be love dolls, which are basically Japan's version of like the blow up doll.
Pretty much.
You know, people can fuck the shit out of them. They're not treated as humans. Like they lose all their human rights. They're for as long as they live, basically, because they get conscripted by force.
Yep.
And you know, it's a fucking good series. I gotta admit, like there's some twists and turns in that. So, like, I think my favorite chapter is probably the Kendo girl. You know,
I can't remember. It's been a while since I read it. So
she's the girl that ended up becoming conscripted as a love doll, and her classmates find her, so they buy her, so that they don't have to like have her be under someone else's control. But they ended up like giving in and just using her. Alright. So, anyways, like she's a kendo girl, so she's like, she can fucking duel her way out of a lot of things.
Yeah.
But as a love doll, she's useless.
Right.
So,
it's good stuff. I
it's
love
good
Fan No
stuff.
Hitari, one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, same here. And, gotta admit, you know, he makes really dark stuff. Like, there's the fantasy stuff he's got going on, but, like, the doll series is definitely notable just because, you know, it's got your basic stuff and like it's got kind of like a dark romance with one of the stories, and it's got like this whole forced genre. It's got a whole vanilla genre in one of them, so it's got a lot in there. So it's the doll series by Fan Hitari has you there, and it's all under humiliation because they're not human anymore.
Yeah.
Nice. So that's it for my tags. What about you, man?
So mine came late last minute, so it's kind of a mix since it's not really a tag that you'll find, but double blowjobs. But you could probably find it under the tag blowjob face, and specifically an artist Fue, Fue, and it's because I've been in the middle of making our new layout for Dirty Casual Corner number 23, which is it's actually lands on exactly our 1 year anniversary. So we're gonna have a new layout coming out in 4 weeks from now, with a webcam and everything. And one of the things I used in that was a picture from a Fue Dojin, which was specifically a double blowjob scene. That's going to be in our new layout, and,
which I approve.
It's good shit. So I recommend you go read specifically just Fue, any of his stuff. He's the blowjob king. He has dojins that are specifically just only blowjobs, and he makes it work amazingly because he's just the king of blowjobs. That's all I gotta say, man. Fue, he has a series, Fela Pure, that got a hentai anime as well.
By the worst company, I think, right?
Yeah, wait, no, it wasn't Queen Bee didn't do it. I think it was actually I think it was Collaboration Works that did it. So it was actually pretty decent. I like it. I still have it. It's good. But check out Fue. It's fucking amazing. If you're looking for some good blowjobs, and you'll see that 2 podcasts from now. We're gonna have a new layout, and hope you look forward to it.
Yeah, hopefully. So I believe that ends our Dirty Casual Corner.
That's it. I think that might be our shortest one
yet.
You
have anything to rant about?
No, I got nothing besides what I already ranted about earlier in news. So I'm good to go.
Yeah, same here.
It's our shortest yet.
Yep.
I think under 2 hours. Damn.
Yeah.
We're making good time here.
Right.
I think we need to do this in the future.
Hopefully. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in for our 21st episode. Hopefully you guys tune in for our 1 year anniversary on the 23rd. So not this podcast coming up, but the next one
face
after.
reveal will be happening.
Yeah.
For both of us, us degenerates, and you'll see us pounding grooves the whole time.
Yeah, we're
as we do always.
Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. You know, hopefully you guys were entertained. Don't hit that like button. Don't fucking subscribe. Yeah, don't worry about that.
Just watch it.
Yeah,
just watch us and talk shit to us. We love it.
We'll definitely love it. So thank you guys for tuning in, and you guys have a good evening or morning or whatever.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys.
Take care, guys.